Hello and welcome to 2026. I'm so excited. I'm going to be showing you how I vet properties today. So I've got some buyers who are looking between $600,000 and $800,000. They're looking in the big four of McKinney, Plano, Frisco, and Allen. And they've sent me some properties and they want me to take a look at them, share my thoughts. And this is something that I do with all of my buyers before we go out and tour homes. I want to give you or my buyers some feedback as to what I think about these properties, if they're good, if they're bad, are they going to appreciate over the long term? Because that's the main goal here, is to buy real estate and for it to appreciate. So I want to look at these properties, make sure they're a good fit for the clients, and make sure that they are going to appreciate long term and they don't have any major big red flags. We've got a lot of different property types, which I think is going to be super helpful for you to look at. So as you can tell, we're looking in these North Dallas suburbs here. The big four, I always like to reference that because so many people look in the big four: McKinney, Plano, Frisco, and Allen. Really great schools in these suburbs, so these tend to be very popular spots. We've got some in the West Plano, Southern Plano area. We've got some in Allen here. And then we have some up in the McKinney area, with one looking to be closer to that downtown historic McKinney area, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at this one first. This is a private exclusive property. This means that this home is not searchable to buyers looking on Zillow or Realtor.com. This is a home that is exclusive to my brokerage Compass. So think of this as like an off-market kind of thing. Let's take a look at the pictures. I love that circled driveway. So you come in, you've got your formal dining, formal living. You've got some carpet here, so that's dating it just a bit. Plantation shutters. Looks like they've painted recently, which is nice. Appliances look a little bit older over here. I love that you've got gas. That's awesome. Looks like you'd really just want to update this backsplash here, and then the countertops. The cabinets don't look too bad. Probably just need some fresh paint is what I'm seeing. Nice hardwood floors throughout. It's great. Good pantry space, laundry room. Got a half bath downstairs, which is awesome. I love a half bath downstairs, so your guests do not have to use one of your kids' bedrooms or one of the guest bedrooms. Good size master. Looks like you definitely want to do some updating in here. And this one, this one's at the top of their price range of $800,000. So these are definitely updates that they could do later on down the road, but these would be updates that would be good for future resale. Love the pergola. Great green space back here, and looks like they've got a little garden started, so that's very fun. So overall, I think this one's looking pretty good. Let's check out some of the details. So schools look good. Hightower Elementary School is a really popular elementary school. They've got really high ratings, as you can tell. Frankford Middle, not rated as highly, but then you've got Shepton High School, which is rated 7 out of 10. And Plano West is not too far, so 8 out of 10. So I would say, honestly, as long as you're getting 2 out of the 3 of those being 7 out of 10 or above, I think you're in a really great spot for highly rated schools. So overall, I think this would be a great one for us to look at. They do not have the seller's disclosure on here, which is another thing that I would probably request before we see this one, just so I can see, how old's the AC, how old's the roof, that kind of thing. But I would definitely tell my buyers this is looking like a good one and we should definitely see it. Okay, now let's head to the next one. Definitely a little bit smaller, probably like 1,000 square feet smaller. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage. Schools are looking good. So Shepherd Elementary, 7 out of 10, Wilson Middle, 8 out of 10, and Vines High School, 6 out of 10. Let's look at the pictures. So this looks like a flip, which is nice. So really open floor plan here. Dining room off the entryway, and then maybe an office back there. Plantation shutters are really nice. They're super expensive to install, so nice that they come with the house. We've got some painted brick there. It looks nice and bright. I wish that there was gas back here, but maybe that's personal preference. So a little bit broken up here. If you can see the main living area and then this little, almost like a sunroom nook. So I'd be curious to see that in person. Good backyard space. Yeah, I think it looks good. My questions off the top of my head would be, how old are the systems? Because sometimes flippers come in and they just do the pretty stuff and they don't always do the roof or the foundation or the plumbing or electrical. So my question would be, how much of those things are updated? So let's look at the seller's disclosure. So nobody's occupying the property, as we know, because this was a flip. Just looking through here. So the roof is 7 years old. Not terrible. They do have a sprinkler system. It's automatic. That's good. Not seeing any previous foundation work. Suspicious. I would tell my buyers, if we get under contract on this one, we are 100% doing a foundation inspection, and we are 100% doing a sewer scope, and that's where the inspector runs a camera through all the sewer lines to see if there's any cracking, if there's any bellies in the line where water is just sitting there. You know, it's one of those suburbs with older homes, so it's really good to do a sewer scope if nobody's touched the plumbing work in, what, 40 years? It's really good to do that just so you know, as the future buyer and future owner, that you got some good plumbing under there. You're not gonna have too many issues. Next up on the list, let's head to this other kind of southern Plano one, this 670. So it looks like we have another flip. Houston Elementary School, really great ratings, that's good. 8 out of 10. Haggard Middle School, I know that that's a really good one. Vines High School, 6 out of 10. 89 days on market, so that tells me we've got some negotiating room. Let's see, so very cute exterior. That looks really cute. Love the front door. So nice open floor plan again. Tall ceilings, really nicely updated. Okay, master bedroom. Good sized backyard. This looks really nice. I'm not seeing anything crazy here. Let's be fun and look at the past photos. Oh my goodness, okay. So let's see, it listed at $440, sold at $425 in August of 2025. So let's pop into the seller's disclosure and see if we see anything. All right, not occupied, lawn sprinkler. All right, roof is 6 years old, not bad. I'm not seeing anything scary here. So this is a good sign. I think, again, it's gonna be interesting to see, you know, how good those updates are. Sometimes the flips can be really cheaply done, and a lot of times you can't see that in the pictures. So it's really good to go and look and kind of take a close look at how everything kind of came together and if it's messy or if it's really neat. My main questions to the listing agent on this would be, you know, are the systems updated? So what is the age of the water heater, HVAC? Since it's Plano, since it's an older home, I would tell my buyers, like, hey, it's probably good for us to do a foundation inspection during our option period, and it's probably also good for us to do a sewer scope just to make sure the plumbing looks okay. Okay, so we've tackled Plano. Let's move up to Allen. And so this is close to Twin Creeks. You've got waters crossing down here, so you've got some really good shopping, restaurants, things to do right along this corridor of 75. So as far as location goes, this one's looking really good. I'm liking this curb appeal. 6 days on the market too, so this was a fresh one. So let's check this one out. So schools look really great. Allen ISD, as I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos, is a really, really great ISD. You've got very high ratings here, so these schools look awesome. The biggest issue that I'm seeing, as soon as I look at this map, is this backs to Alma Drive, which is a pretty busy street. Ugh. So immediately I'm thinking not as great for resale value because it backs to a busy street. That street is only gonna get busier, as you know, because Dallas is growing. And then you're probably gonna get some road noise in that backyard, which is not awesome. Front entry driveway, I love that. So it looks like this one's been nicely updated so far. You've got those hand scraped wood floors, got some carpet here. That kind of dates it a little bit. Fresh white walls. Look how large this island is. This kind of looks like a custom island here, which is nice. Looks great. Yeah, I'm really liking this a lot. So you do have some carpet, but carpet looks pretty good from the pictures. A wild color in the half bath. I support wild half baths though, you know, some crazy wallpaper. Where else can you do that in the house, realistically? You've got some good light coming in this master. Ceiling fan is dating it just a bit. Got carpet, not great, but it is what it is. So it looks like the master bath has been half updated, I would say. I'd probably change out that countertop there, but I think mostly looks really good. And then the backyard. Okay. pretty decent space. I like that you've got some trees along here, but as a reminder, you do back to Alma Drive, so I'm not sure how much of the noise those trees are blocking, but definitely looks a little bit better. I'll tell you one thing that will make you sick is looking at these listings if they sold prior to 2020. It's so bad. It will really make you sick to your stomach. This one sold, let's see, last in 2020. This is of course before the market went super crazy and all the prices escalated, but this sold for $395 and it's selling for $700,000. I mean, that just makes you sick, right? But you know, it's the market. It is the market. You cannot argue with that. All right, roof is 2 years old. That's great. So we've got previous treatment for termites and then previous termite damage. We've got some settling, some soil movement, previous roof repairs, and then damage needing repair. So let's see. Roof replaced by Pickle Roofing in 2023 after hailstorm to the neighborhood. Termite bait sites around the entire perimeter of the house. Those were set in 2021 due to active termites in the mulch beds in front of the garage. Fence replaced in 2022. So termites, not a deal breaker, but definitely something that's good to know. I would tell my clients you definitely want to continue termite treatment here. Termites can just come out of nowhere though and take over, so termite treatment for any house is probably a good idea. Foundation inspection. So some seasonal shifting is very common. It looks like they had these people come out and check out the foundation. But yeah, I mean, I think this one looks good. All right, next we are hopping over 75 and checking out this other one in Allen. So this one is over here, so it's on that right side of Highway 75. So let's check this one out. It actually has a pool, which is fun. 40 days on the market. All right, really great schools. So the pool looks great, looks really nice. A little dated already. Really just needs some paint job. Kitchen probably needs to be updated with the backsplash and the countertops, but pretty good space, and the tile in there. The primary looks good. The primary bath definitely needs to be updated. So really good space, but not a whole lot of yard space. But I think overall this one looks okay. I think this is a little bit more dated in my opinion. So they would definitely need to do some more work, but it does have a pool, so I definitely see why they were attracted to this one. HOA is $295 annually. That tells me right off the bat you probably don't have a lot of HOA amenities, but you do have a pool, so you know, maybe you don't need a community pool if you've got a pool in your backyard. And it looks like they do not have the seller's disclosure updated or uploaded, so I will be following up with the agent to get my hands on that. We've checked Plano, we've looked at Allen, and now we're heading up to McKinney. So this is in a really popular neighborhood called Stonebridge Ranch. So the HOA fees are gonna be a little bit higher here just because you've got access to tennis courts and a golf course pretty close by included with the neighborhood. And then you also have playgrounds, community pools, that kind of thing. So lots of amenities, and I can tell you, HOA is $1,003 annually. So just kind of comes with the territory of buying a home in a big master plan community with a lot of amenities. Really pretty exterior. You can see some of these amenities down here. So Stonebridge Ranch amenities, which is great. This is really nice. So this was built in 2019. So I think it's safe to assume all of your systems are probably 2019. So the AC, water heater, roof, everything. But overall, really light and bright. I love the staircase, open floor plan. Now, here's the kicker. When we get to the backyard, you've got some good space here, but if you see on the right-hand side, you do have a retaining wall. Now, a retaining wall is not great for resale. A lot of times, a retaining wall will scare a lot of buyers because they're just concerned that this retaining wall holding up this big property up here, what if it falls? What if you have drainage issues? Those are kind of the main concerns. And the deal with the retaining wall is the responsibility of the retaining wall is the person whom it's holding up. So it technically is not this owner's responsibility, but it's the one that is being held up. However, if something happens to this retaining wall, it will be in your yard. I would err on the side of caution on this one. This would be the biggest red flag on this property. Okay, second to last in McKinney, let's check her out. So this is North McKinney, so you're right below 380 is the location on this one. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3747 square feet. Looks like it does not back to any major highway, which is great. Front driveway, which is nice. Looks like you got a 3-car garage. Basketball court, I can see who put this one in the list. So somewhat updated. The cabinet colors are a choice. So carpet is a little bit older. It looks like it was all updated. I'd be curious to see how it looks in person. Sometimes these colors don't come in as great on the computer, so I'm wondering if maybe the colors are not coming in as great on the computer. It looks like some of these bathrooms were updated though. Yard is a little bit small, but you do have the basketball court or a half basketball court on the side there. I can totally see why they want to see this one. Recent updates within the past 4 years include carpet replacements, HVAC upgrades, a new roof, remodeled kitchen and master bath, fresh painted throughout. Alrighty, well they don't have the seller's disclosure. Remodeled in 2021. Well, I think this is a good option. I'm not seeing any red flags. Okay, last but not least, we've got one more in McKinney, and this looks close to the historic district in McKinney. Look at that historic charm. So this one does not have as many bedrooms and bathrooms as some of the other ones, but you are in historic downtown. So the appeal here is really the location. Super cute. Love the double front door entry there. Nicely updated. The fan is pretty funny in the kitchen. This is very cute. You can tell it's a little bit smaller than the other ones, but you know, you're in historic downtown, so you really can't expect something as big. Lots of light in this primary bedroom, tall ceilings. Okay, a little bit smaller of a bathroom space. Oh my gosh, this porch is so good backyard space. It looks like they have a lot of gravel back here. I think this would be one of those cases for turf. I think turf would look really good back here. You got a little patch of grass back here. Okay, so it looks like this is an additional space above the garage. This is pretty fun. Studio apartment above garage also has a bathroom. That is very nice. Love that. Now let's take a look at the seller's disclosure. So floor plan with measurements, I'll be sending that to the clients. All right, so seller is living in the property on this one. Roof is 15 years old. A little bit old. Curious about that roof inspection. We've got underground storage tanks, previous treatment for termites, and located in a historic district. So anytime a home is located in a historic district, you do have some restrictions on what you can do with the home, mostly in the exterior. I would definitely want to get more information on what they can and what they cannot do, such as maybe the color of the exterior property. Maybe if they don't like yellow, they can't really change it from yellow. So I'd be curious to see what all of that entails. Going into a historic home, the home is gonna be really cute. It's gonna be in a great location close to downtown McKinney. However, this is just gonna come with some extra maintenance that some of those other homes are not gonna come with. And it's gonna come with some extra restrictions. So I just wanna be sure my buyers know that and are prepared for that going into owning a historic home. But I think it looks cute. It's definitely worth seeing it in person. I hope this was super helpful. A word vomit of a lot of information, but I am gonna continue to do these in a couple different areas around DFW because I think it's really helpful for you to see, you know, how I'm protecting my buyers and how you as a buyer can protect yourself with looking at the seller's disclosure and kind of looking at a home with these same parameters so you can tell if this is a good investment or maybe not a good investment. So I hope this was so helpful. I'm so excited to bring you so many more videos this year. I am back on the grind. I'm excited to be here and I so appreciate all of your support. If you're looking to buy a home in the DFW area, I would love to help you. And if nothing else, I will see you on the next video.